Hey guys, let's discuss current affairs. Here's today's first question. This is on rebranding, corporate rebranding. Which companies recently changed its corporate name to Meta? The answer is on the screen for you. It's in bold. Well, Facebook's changed its name to Meta Platforms. So, what is this about? Facebook wants to focus on the future, of course, just like every other company here on the list here. But more importantly, by changing the name, they want to move away just from being a social network company, a social media company. There are a lot of the other things they wish to do, okay, like getting into augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse is as what they call it. Now, so I'm going to discuss each of these companies in detail, okay. So how do we begin? I guess we begin with Facebook. We begin, what do we begin with? Facebook. So here's Facebook, FB. Right now it's called Meta Platforms, okay. It has changed the name, so I'm going to put the name here, Meta Platforms. So Meta Platforms owns a lot of other brands. It owns Oculus, which is a virtual reality company. Then it owns, as you know, Facebook, WhatsApp. Indians love WhatsApp. I think it has WhatsApp's biggest market is in India. It also owns Jiffy. Silent, GIF files they are called, depicting a variety of emotions. Then we have Instagram. Instagram, as you know, comes from two separate words: instant camera and telegram. Okay, so who founded Facebook? Who started Facebook in the early part of the 2000s decade? What is called the noughties decade. Remember, the first decade of a century is called the noughties decade. Naught, N-O-U-G-H-T. Naught means zero, basically. Okay, so here's Facebook's founders. I'm going to give all the names. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg. You have heard of this guy's name, Mark Zuckerberg. This guy is the current chairman, CEO, and the other names are not so famous ones, but here they are: Dustin Moskovitz. Then we have Chris Hughes. We could look at Eduardo Severin. I think among all these guys, apart from Zuckerberg, he holds the biggest stake, biggest number, he's the biggest shareholder. Then we have one more guy, Andrew McCallum. For want of space, I'm writing it here at the bottom. I'm writing the name at the bottom, Andrew McCallum. Okay, so these five guys founded Facebook. There is another company which has a similar structure, and that's mentioned there, Google. You see, Google's earlier it was called Google and a range of other companies under Google, but now, a few years back, it changed the name to Alphabet. Okay, so I'll just clear this now. How big is Facebook? Facebook's about $85 billion bigger. I'm not talking the valuation, the stock valuation. I'm looking at the revenue. Last year, it made about $85 billion. That's a lot of money, and its primary source is by selling advertisement space on its platforms. Okay, so, and yeah, it also owns about 9.99% stake in Geo Platforms. So you could say it's a 10% owner of Geo Platforms. So let's look at Google. Google's, as you know, is Alphabet. I'll write in full. I'll start with Alphabet. Earlier I started, in the case of Facebook, I started with Facebook, I moved to Meta. Here's Alphabet. Alphabet was started by two guys. One is Sergey Brin. In fact, Google was started by two guys, Sergey Brin and Larry Page. Larry is Lawrence, as you would know. Larry is a nickname for Lawrence Page. See, different societies, different nicknames. We almost all societies in the world have have this fascination with nicknames. In India, we rarely call our friends, our family members by their full names. We often use a nickname. Okay, I'm not talking of sobriquets like Netaji for Subhash Bose. I'm talking of like Manu for Manoj, Manu for Manohar, Liz for Elizabeth, yeah, Subbu for Subbarao. Okay, Manu say Deepu for Deepak or Deepika, like that. Now, Larry is for Lawrence, like pretty much like Dick for Richard, Bob for Robert, yeah, Bill for William. So we have Larry Page, what's Lawrence Page. These two guys started Google way back in the last few years of the last millennium. Now, if we go a little further, we would find that this company owns brands like Google, you name a thing, man. They own a lot of things. They own, they own, of course, I was discussing Gmail. Yeah, this is a product that they was the product, the handiwork of one of their employees who was working on product of their own. Google has a 20% rule, so you could spend 20% of the work time on your pet project. If the company would like your project, the end project, well, it may buy it from you. Okay, so that's how it is. And it owns Google Fiber, Google Capital, plenty of stuff like that. So its CEO is Sundar Pichai, Sundar Rajan Pichai. He is the CEO of both Google and Alphabet. Okay, so where is it headquartered? Okay, would you have wanted to know who's what do we say, where are these companies headquartered? Maybe I'll just finish this and then I'll come to the headquarters, or I'll just go without the names. A while ago I mentioned Facebook. So Facebook's headquartered in Menlo Park. Menlo Park is a very tiny place, a town, small town, in the American state of California. What is it? Menlo Park, California. We mentioned Alphabet. Alphabet and Google are headquartered in the same place, Mountain View, California, United States. So yeah, these are all American companies, so I don't have to repeatedly say United States. Okay. Then we have Tesla. Now Tesla, my friends, is headquartered in a place. Tesla. Okay, who started Tesla? Then we'll go on to discuss, name the head office, the place of head office, and of course its current CEO. Tesla is named after Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla, the pioneer of alternating current. Nikola Tesla is, was the inspiration behind the name. Then it was started by two guys. Only in the case of this company I'm going to discuss now, the last company, because I think we are going a little, while for bank exams this is not required. I was just, I thought of giving you the names of the founders and all that. We'll just keep this short. Okay, this was founded by two guys, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Okay, Mark Tarpenning. Yeah. The current CEO is a guy called Elon Musk, and it's headquartered in a place called Palo Alto, California. Palo Alto is also the place where HP Hewlett Packard was founded. Okay, so was Xerox. Now, to clear all from these three, let me clear, and we'll look at Microsoft. Okay, since by nature I'm like this. Just in the case of Microsoft, I'll give you the names of the founders: Paul Allen and Bill Gates. Bill is William, as I mentioned earlier. Bill is William. Okay. So these two guys started the company in sometime in April 1975. Today is the world's largest software maker. Okay, it's headquartered in a place called Redmond, Washington State, which is on the west coast of the US on the border with Canada. You have heard of Seattle? Well, Seattle is the capital of the Washington state. Redmond is a town there. Okay, then we have the current CEO, chairman and CEO, the same guy, Satyanarayana Nadella. I'll write Satyanarayana Nadella. Of course, my handwriting is pretty bad, but there's pretty little I can do about this. What not changed in the last more than 4 decades is unlikely to change now. I may try, but I can only try. What brands does it own? Oh, it owns a lot of brands. It owns brands like Skype. You have heard of Azure, which is their cloud platform. They own Nuance. Nuance is a healthcare software company. Yeah. GitHub. They also own GitHub, which is open code platform. Plenty of stuff actually. So from here we could look at the last one, IBM. IBM, was started as CTR. You don't have to write this, just for information's sake. Computing, Tabulating, Recording Company. That's how the company's name comes. CTR. Computing, Tabulating, Recording. Okay. Of course, the company's name changed from 1884 when it was started. In 1914, it was incorporated. 1884 was when the small beginnings, came about. 1914 CTR came about, and 1924 the company's name came to International Business Machines, IBM. This company is it's headquartered in a place called Armonk. It's on the east coast of America. Armonk town, New York State. Okay, and its CEO is an India-born guy who studied at IIT Kanpur, Arvind Krishna. Recently, he was named the most influential executive in the information technology industry by the best, magazine in the sector. Arvind Krishna has been rated as the most influential technology executive of 2021. That's you see, people work extremely hard. They learn, and that's what keeps them different from others. Okay, so that's a little about these companies. Okay, so apart from all these things, let's look at which institution has been unanimously elected the president of the World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies for 2023. Well, India's Invest India. This is a much feted, feted, much awarded agency. In fact, it won the inaugural United Nations, Business Promotion Award also. United Nations Business Promotion Award given by the UN specialized agency called UNCTAD, UNCTAD. Okay, especially for the business practices, investment practices adopted by India, and during the COVID time. So Invest India is basically a government body. You should know this. So its basic agenda is to help companies set up businesses in India by hand holding. This company's this agency's CEO is Deepak Bagla. Okay, Deepak Bagla. Now FICCI, what is FICCI's full form? The Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. The Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Its president is Uday Bhaskar. ASSOCHAM, Association of the Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Indian Chambers and Association of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Well, it's what we say, ASSOCHAM. It's no, I think Yeah, it's President. I'm so sorry, Vinit Agarwal. I guess it's Vinit Agarwal. Vinit Agarwal. This chap happens to be the Vinit Agarwal happens to be the MD of Transport Corporation of India, TCIL, Transport Corporation of India. NASSCOM, my friends, is a National Association of Software and Service Companies. National Association of Software and Service Companies. President will write the name of the president because see, often the name of the chairperson, they change between years. Almost every year there is a new chairperson. When it concerns the president, the presidents, they have been there for some time. It's a tenure-based role. So NASSCOM's president is Debjani Ghosh, Debjani, Debjani Ghosh. Debjani Ghosh. Then we have CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. Confederation of Indian Industry. Confederation of Indian Industry. The president is TV Narendran. TV Narendran. Heard of him? Well, if you haven't, Narendran, he is the CEO and MD of Tata Steel. Tata Steel, one of the world's largest steel manufacturers. Okay, there we go, guys. Pretty relevant information from the exam point of view. Which of the following films has been announced as India's official entry to the Oscars 2022? The Oscars officially are called the Academy Awards. Of course, in long form, but Academy Awards is what we use. So, it's a Tamil film, Kurangal. I think the Z is pronounced with it's like, I think pretty much like Malayali in this case. I'm not very certain of the pronunciation, so all the Tamil friends here, forgive me. I'll just go with something very simple, Kurangal. The word means pebbles. Is it? Pebbles. P-E-B-B-B-B-L-E-S. Pebbles. Chote kankar. Chote pattar. I was reading this story and it made for pretty heartbreaking. I think the story is pretty heartbreaking, stark, real. That happens in most, in places around us, or maybe in the lives of someone we know. In the life of someone we know. So, who's the director of this film? I'll just give the name of the director. P.S. Vinod Raj. This is spelling. Vinod Raj. Directed by P.S. Vinod Raj. And you know what? Well, this is the official entry. So every year since 1956 or something, we've been sending a film. 1948, we have been sending a film to the Oscars, okay, to compete in the best foreign film category. Now, all the films that the Academy Award receives, the Academy Awards organization receives, they're called entries. They're called entries. 5 of these entries are shortlisted, and these are called nominations. All the 5 names are read at the Oscar ceremony, and one of them gets a prize, gets a Oscar award. So, long list, all entries from different nations, top 5 names, nominations, one gets the award. Okay, so we have had 3 Indian films making it to the nomination stage. Okay, though we are the world's biggest film producing nation, we have had only 3 films in almost 70 years. And these 3 films, just for information's sake, I am sharing here. The first one was Mother India. Just a second. Mother India, 1957, directed by Mehboob Khan. It's one of the most epoch-defining films you could ever watch. Mehboob Khan. Okay, film was Mother India, directed by Mehboob Khan, and the year it was made was in 1957. Now let's look at the other two films, and before that, let me clear this up. Okay, so we have Salam Bombay. This is a very different kind of film. You would enjoy it. It's a lot of positive energy in spite of the hardships and misery around. 1988, and directed by Meera Nair. Okay, from there the last film, while the first two might not be greatly familiar, to us. The third one, Lagan, I think 2001, and directed by Ashutosh Gowarikar. Okay, there we go, guys. All have come, and I've watched all of these films across languages. You should watch this. Nair to Malayalam. Of course, I don't read. Like most of you, I don't understand Malayalam, but I watched it with subtitles, and it's pretty stark. Very stark. How three people get caught in a web of lies, deceit, corruption, police, high-handedness, politics. That's a story. Please watch it. It's fun. It's a grim reality, that we have around us. The United Nations Day is observed on 24th October. 24th October. Why don't we take the names of some? See, I think in one of the previous sessions I had told you. I had shared with you the importance of the first few days, like first 10 days or something like that. So I'm going to give you now that we are past October, I'm going to share a few important days in October after 10th. Okay, so let's start with 11th October. 11th October, National Girl Child Day. National Girl Child Day. Next, second Thursday of November. October. Second Thursday of October. World Sight Day. Sight, SIGHT. World Sight Day. Then October 13th. October 13th. So the second one was second Thursday of October. Okay. So now we're discussing 13th October. 13th October. UN Day. United Nations Day for Natural Disaster Reduction. Natural Disaster Reduction. Next, October 14th. October 14th. What is that? World Standard Day. World Standard Day. World Standard Day. Next, October 15th. October 15th. World Students Day. World Students Day. I think it happens to be the birthday of the great APJ Abdul Kalam, Abul Pakir Jainul Abidin Abdul Kalam, former president and nicknamed the missile man of India. And October 15th also happens to the White Cane Day, CANE, cane, White Cane Day. Next, October 16th. October 16th, World Food Day. World Food Day. Next, October 24th. Development Information Day. World Development Information Day. World Development Information Day. 24th. I think 24th plus you could also add UN Day, United Nations Day. Because on this day in 1945 the UN was established. The United Nations organization was set up. Okay. Next, October 30th. October 30th. World Thrift Day. Thrift means savings. This is a good word to write. Thrift Day. Thrift. World Savings Day. Next, October 31st. October 31st. राष्ट्रीय एकता दिवस. राष्ट्रीय एकता दिवस. राष्ट्रीय एकता दिवस. In English, National Unity Day. National Unity Day. Dash. Birthday of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. See, on this day in 1875, Sardar ji was born. Vallabhbhai Patel was born. He passed away on the 15th of December 1950. 75 years old. Chalo, that's it, guys. All important days have come from 11th till 31st. Which of the following banks, institutions has launched a $100 billion credit facility to micro, small and medium enterprises and women entrepreneurs in India? Okay, so we have all of them there. HDFC Bank, MasterCard. These see, HDFC Bank is an Indian bank, private sector bank. MasterCard is an American card issuing company. The bottom two, rather the last two there, USAID and USDFC, are both American government organizations. Okay, just to give you some dope on FDFC. Okay, let's cut it out and just give you the name of the CEO of HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank CEO Shashidhar Jagdishan. Next, MasterCard. Ajay Banga. Ajay, AJAY. Ajay Banga. 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 Ajay Banga. Ajay Banga. Ajay Pal Banga, but Ajay Banga is fine. He's ranked among the 25 best CEOs in the world. Okay. Indians have gone places, but they work very, very hard. They've learned a lot of a great deal of stuff. That's why they are where they are. Okay, but a lot of people get education, especially in top institutes, but not everybody gets what they deserve, or rather, not everybody gets what they want. A combination of factors. Most importantly, learning, capacity to work hard, and really working hard. And of course, consistently, looking out for better opportunities and all that stuff. Name the recipient of the 2022 J.A. Cushman Award for Excellence in Foraminiferal Research. Foraminiferal Research. I didn't know what it meant, so I looked up and I found something pretty interesting. So you could write foraminifera, not the L in the end, okay? Foraminifera dash single-celled organisms dash most of which are of less than 1 millimeter in size. Less than 1 millimeter in size. Imagine what people study, isn't it? It's a fascinating thing. And Rajiv ji would have picked all this research line. Sometime, see, he recently retired as the chief scientist at the National Institute of Oceanography in Goa. You could write ex-chief scientist, ex-chief scientist, National Institute of Oceanography. National Institute of Oceanography, Goa. Right? Goa. Goa. He was the chief scientist there, and he retired, and he spent his entire life studying microfossils and foraminifera. I was reading his entire citation on the PIB website, Press Information Bureau website. Amazing work. Yeah, he has won practically every award in this particular domain. Okay, so, and he received this award after having retired. So it's a lifetime work that the person has been honored for. Okay. Have you heard of these choices there? Rohini Godbole, she is a professor of particle physics at the Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru. K. Shivan, Kailasavadipu Shivan, is a chairman of ISRO, chairperson of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, chairperson of ISRO. G. Satish Reddy, chairperson of DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, Defense Research and Development Organization. Then we have CNR Rao, Chintamani Nagesa, Ramachandra Rao, Chintamani Nagesa Ramachandra Rao. He has received over 60 honoris causa PhDs, doctorates, and he has won every award, of course, except the Nobel Prize. He has won every award in the world, and he is a well-known materials chemist. Okay, researcher, and of course, chemist. You know what? He won the Bharat Ratna. He received the Bharat Ratna in 2014. I've written there 2013. Now you wonder what is this. The award was announced in 2013 and given away by President Pranab Mukherjee in 2014. Okay? That year, he stood next to Sachin Tendulkar. So Sachin and Rao Sahib stood next to each other receiving the award. Okay? So there we go. From here, India's first state-owned wildlife DNA testing center, the Regional Forensic Science Laboratory, is in Nagpur, Pune. Nagpur, Pune. See, this is state-owned, Maharashtra government-sponsored, owned, and there are two central government-owned. You could write this: two central government-owned, DNA testing center, wildlife DNA testing center, are at Hyderabad and Dehradun. See, in Hyderabad, you have this CDFD, which is the Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics. You don't have to write this, but remember, Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics. That's in Hyderabad. Okay. Now, what organizations would you find in these places? Should we look at all these? Chalo dekhte hain. Jaipur, the National Institute of Ayurveda. You could write this: National Institute of Ayurveda. Yeah, National Institute of Ayurveda. It's a Government of India entity. It's pretty new actually. Then you have Bhopal, the Indian Institute of Forest Management. The Indian Institute of Forest Management. Then Nagpur, we just mentioned this. Then we have Pune, National Institute of Virology. Hyderabad, we mentioned CDFD. If you would want to write, I can tell you one more. National Institute of Nutrition. National Institute of Nutrition. Okay. Which nation joined India in a maiden bilateral tri-service exercise named Konkan Shakti 2021? Konkan is a coast on India's west between, Surat, down Surat, Maharashtra, the whole of Maharashtra coast, the whole of Karnataka, Goa and Karnataka coast. Okay, so from Surat down, you could say Maharashtra, Goa and Karnataka coasts are called Konkan coast. Kerala coast is called Malabar coast, Malabar. Okay, and you have Tamil Nadu coast, which is called Coromandel. Andhra coast is Andhra coast. Odisha coast is called Utkal coast, Utkal, Utkal coast. Now coming to, should we be writing anything about these countries? Chalo, I will write United States. We know who's the president and all. Yeah, so we'll not go to the US now. France, the president. The capital is Paris. Usually, as you would know, we write three things: the capital, the leader, and the currency. So France's capital is Paris. The president is Emmanuel Macron. And its currency is the euro. What is it? Euro. Currency is the euro. Then Indonesia, its capital is Jakarta. It's a huge country. It's the world's largest archipelago. As you know, archipelago is a group of islands, and it has more than 16,000 islands. Huge. Its president is Joko Widodo, and its currency is rupiah. Okay. It is also the world's fourth most populous country. Most populous is China, followed by India and United States. So in the fourth place is Indonesia with a population of about 26 crore. Okay, and if you look at its one more thing, it is the world's most populous Muslim country. Okay, Australia's pretty large, the sixth biggest country in the world by area. So I think I should clear this before we go further on this. Australia's capital is Canberra, nicknamed Bush City, because bush means jungle, and it's in the middle of nowhere actually, technically, geographically also. Sydney and Melbourne wanted to be the capital of Australia. They fought among themselves. There was no reconciliation, so the government of Australia said, let's have a new capital that would be more or less equidistant from these two places. And that's how the bush city of Canberra was built. It was a tiny village, Canberra. Okay, but they converted that into an administrative city. Now, its prime minister is a guy called Scott Morrison, and the currency is Australian dollar. UK, London, President Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson. Currency is pound, sterling pound, or British pounds. Whom of the following F1 drivers won the 2021 US Grand Prix? French. Prix is French. It means prize. The Formula 1 United States Grand Prix 2021 edition. Verstappen won him. So two things will write: the country these guys belong to, the guy belongs to, followed by the team for which he drives. Verstappen is from Netherlands. Netherlands. Okay, followed by the team he races for, Red Bull Racing. Red Bull Racing. Bottas is from Finland. There are two Finnish guys here. Okay, Finland, and this guy drives a Mercedes. You pronounce this as Mercedes. Okay, Mercedes. Hamilton is a Brit. He is from the UK, United Kingdom, and he drives a Merc. Kimi Raikkonen, he is from Finland. He's 42 years old, if I'm not wrong. He won the World Championship in 2007. People don't give up. Yeah, Finland, and he drives for Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is a division of a company called Stellantis. Heard of it? Okay. Have you heard of Fiat, Ferrari, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Peugeot? They're all owned by Stellantis. Okay, just like Alfa Romeo. Norris is from Lando Norris. Who does it drive for? Yeah, McLaren Mercedes. Okay, so that's about it, I guess. Pretty good stuff that we've written. Uzbekistan's President Shavkat Mirziyoyev had recently secured a second term in the presidential elections. The capital of Uzbekistan is Uzbekistan's here. The capital of Uzbekistan. So this is Uzbekistan. Okay, let me clear this and take you through these countries first, and then I'll come to this. Okay, you see, this is of course, this is where we are, our country, India. Pakistan on our west, Afghanistan and India share a slight border. Yeah, about 108 kilometer long border here. This is called the Wakhan Corridor, WAKHAN, Wakhan Corridor. Okay, and then we have countries in Central Asia. When we're talking about countries in Central Asia, these are all part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union is a country that existed between 1922 and 1991. So the USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, existed between 1922 and 1991. When we are discussing something like this, please know that in 1991 the country collapsed, the Soviet Union collapsed. Okay, and the 15 provinces in that country became 15 independent countries. You could look at a few of these. Russia's number 1, Kazakhstan's number 2, Kyrgyzstan number 3. I'm just for number, our information. 4 Uzbekistan, 5 Turkmenistan, 6 Tajikistan. You go up, basically, you go west, further west from the Caspian Sea. This is the Caspian Sea. Okay, you would find that find countries like, we got 6, isn't it? 7 Georgia, 8 Armenia, 9 Azerbaijan, 10 Moldova, 11 Ukraine, 12 Belarus, 13 Estonia, 14 Latvia, 15 Lithuania. All have come. Okay, so these were all parts of the Soviet Union before it collapsed in 1991. Okay, so these are authoritarian countries, my friends. Seriously authoritarian. And the capital Tashkent is famous for one particular reason, that on 10th January 1966, India's second Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri, passed away. People say in mysterious circumstances. Okay, in mysterious circumstances. So when we are talking about something like this, we need to appreciate the fact that it's all about it's all about history. You know, getting a second term in a country like Uzbekistan is not a big deal because it's an authoritarian state. Guys like Shavkat Mirziyoyev, when a word, Slavic words end with a V, it's pronounced with an F. So Mirziyoyev, that's how you pronounce. Okay. So when people like Shavkat are president and being authoritarian, the guy runs the country with an iron fist. So it's unlikely that anyone else would come to power through the elections. Okay, everything is rigged in their favor. I'll tell you how. You look at this country called Kazakhstan. Its capital is Astana here? No. What is mentioned here? Nur Sultan. Astana is the old name of the capital. Now it's called Nur Sultan. Why the change? Well, Nur Sultan happens to be the name of the president, the former president of the country. Nur Sultan Nazarbayev. The man ruled the country between 1994, I think, until about 2019-20. He's still there. He is still the chairman of the Supreme Council of the country. Okay. Crazy. Dushanbe, you want to know where are these places? Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Ashgabat, you can see this is Turkmenistan. This is a country run by dictators. Two dictators, Turkmenistan. Currently, there is a dictator called Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. Earlier, there was a guy called Sapar Murat Niyazov. The man was mad. He had a gold statue of himself installed in the city center, and it was heliotropic. That it would face the sun in the morning, and like sunflower, it would move with the movement of the sun. Yeah, and he renamed the calendar after the name of his after the name of one of the months was named after his mother, one after himself, and a few more after some Turkish heroes. Okay, crazy countries. So you don't live in one of those places. That's luck. Okay, so I think they're all mentioned here. Dushanbe, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek. Okay. Fair. So from here, Sitsi Dangaramba was recently awarded the Peace Prize of the German Book Trade 2021 for her artistic work as well as for her political commitment to democracy. Sitsi is from Zimbabwe. Sitsi is about 62 years old and was reading her story a great deal of suffering, and these things are reflected in her work also, in her works. One of the books that she wrote and became world famous for, the book, okay, Nervous Conditions. I'm going to give you the names of two of our books. Nervous Conditions, that is one. Two, right here, please copy this, okay. This Mournable Body, this was a Booker shortlist, a Booker shortlisted. This Mournable Body, yeah, this Mournable Body. So that's how it is, okay. So I think there is a lot we can learn, and should you wish to know more, I can tell you something more. The something more here is this, my friends, that we have Tanzania. No, I was just, there is too many spam calls, too many calls these days, so I have to put them on. It's already on silent, but even the vibrations more or less gone. Okay, so Tanzania. Would you want to know anything about Tanzania? Tanzania's capital is Dodoma. I'll just give you the name of the president. They may just ask you. Now that I mentioned the capital, fine, but I'm going to give the name of the prime minister, the president here, Samia Suluhu. For the simple reason that this is one of the few African women heads of state. Okay, Samia Suluhu. Zimbabwe president is Emerson Mnangagwa. Emerson Mnangagwa. Emerson Mnangagwa. Okay, so anything else? Egypt, yes, you could write Egypt. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. I'm not spending a lot of time on Sit's books, primarily because not many people feel comfortable in all that stuff. Not many people relate to books. I love reading. Reading is fun. That's how we get to know all these things. Yeah, I've read Nervous Conditions. Pretty, what to say, difficult book. Very difficult, especially relating to suffering and all that. South Africa's president is Cyril Ramaphosa. South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa. This is just extra information that I'm sharing. There is no need for me to share the names of the presidents when we're discussing like countries, about an author. Kenya is Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta. He is in deep trouble these days because of protests and all that. Which country has successfully launched a military satellite named Syracuse 4A satellite that will allow all armed forces across the globe to communicate swiftly and securely? The question's a bit ambiguous. It reads like, all the armed forces across nations. No. It's something very simple actually, okay? So you could write this. Syracuse 4A satellite. Syracuse 4A is a French military satellite. French military satellite to ensure that the French military can communicate between mainland France. This is continental France. Mainland France is part of continent. Mainland France and military units deployed, and its military units deployed around the world. Okay. So France has military forces around the world. They own the Reunion Islands in the Indian Ocean. They have a huge number of soldiers. Their troops in North Africa, especially in Mali, Niger, where they are fighting, Islamists. There are a lot of French presence around the world. One more thing: the Syracuse satellite was launched by France from. You could write this. Launched from Guyana. Guyana spaceport in French Guyana. South America. Okay, South America. So South America. France is the only European country that has some of its territory in South America. It is true that France is spread across two continents, Europe and South America. You may say that, Britain has colonies all over the world. Well, it does, but those are overseas territories. I'm not saying that. What I'm talking about is not overseas territories. I'm talking about France area, territorial area. The French Guiana is considered part of France, straight. So when you calculate the area of France, it includes the area of French Guiana in South America. Okay, so there is France in South America. Yes. Okay. Anything else that you would want to know about this? Well, Japan has a new Prime Minister, Fumio Kishida. Fumio Kishida. That's a new Japanese Prime Minister. South Korea has this president called Moon Jae-in. Spain has constitutional republic. Constitutional monarchy. Japan and Spain are constitutional monarchies. They have the monarch as the head of the government, head of the state, but they have a parliamentary system in place wherein they have a prime minister as the head of the government. So the Spanish prime minister's name is Pedro Sanchez. Pedro Sanchez. Chinese president is world famous character. At least he has become famous, world famous because of COVID. Xi Jinping. It's pronounced Xi, S-G. Okay? Ciao. The book titled Kamala Harris, Phenomenal Woman, is written by Chidanand Radhatta. This guy is a liberal, and so is Kamala Harris. You need to understand something very simple. It's more of a hagiography, a book full of praise. There is nothing critical about the lady. She is the Vice President of the United States of America, and I have read a lot of Chidanand Radhatta. I once read his book, The Horse That Flew, F-L-E-W. Not a great work, but yeah, okay. Tavleen Singh, writer, and pretty controversial stuff. Kashmir, I'll name one book. Kashmir, A Tragedy of Errors. A Tragedy of Errors. Tragedy of Errors. Okay. Atish Tasir. Tavleen Singh I'll have to bring in a few things here. You may feel uncomfortable. Relax. Tavleen Singh is his famous writer, Indian writer, columnist, journalist, and all. She has a partner, an Indian business person. And Atish Tasir, as you can see there, Atish Tasir is her son from a relationship she had with a former Pakistani politician who was shot dead by his bodyguard. Okay, Atish Tasir, in his own right, is a famous writer. Stranger to History is a book for which he became famous. Stranger to History. Atish Tasir. I have books by 1, 2, 3, and 5. Reading is fun, my friends. You should read so that you learn, you become better. Sadanand Dhume is a very famous strategic affairs expert, and he's written many, of course, columns, journal, stuff and all. So one book he's greatly famous for is My Friend the Fanatic. He is an atheist. He says, I'm an atheist. So in Indonesia, he goes on a tour with an Islamist fanatic, fundamentalist. That's the book about My Friend the Fanatic. Okay. Megha Rajgopalan won the Pulitzer Prize for her exposure, along with 2 other colleagues, of the Chinese treatment of Uyghur Muslims. See, wherever you read this word Uyghur, some people you will find with V, U-Y, it's okay. It's pronounced Uyghur, okay? So she won a Pulitzer Prize. Anyway, that's not important for us. Which of the following cities formally joined the IPL bandwagon after the BCCI awarded them franchisee rights? Well, Ahmedabad and Lucknow. Ahmedabad has been taken by CCV. Oh, what is it? No, not CCV, CVC. Oh, it's pretty confusing, guys. It's something very new. They don't have a team name yet. CVC, Capital Partners. Capital Partners. They shelled out 5,625 crores. Do you know that? Yeah, 5625 crores. Little over 5,600 crores to get the team rights. It's a foreign, private equity firm, and it has its own Indian subsidiary called Irilia Company. Don't write. This is fine. Ahmedabad team has been purchased by CVC Capital Partners. Now coming to Lucknow, the partner, there's no team name yet. These guys, Lucknow team has been purchased by RPSG Group. Ramnath Prasad, Sanjeev Goenka Group. Ramnath Prasad, Sanjeev Goenka Group. Okay. How do you know this Sanjeev Goenka Group, RPSG Group? You have heard of Spencer's Retail. They own that. Saregama, they own that. There is this football, one of India's oldest football clubs, Mohan Bagan. They own that. Okay. They own there is this MBA college in Delhi called IMI, International Management Institute. They own that also. Okay. So they own a lot of good things. And you have heard of Nature's Basket? Yeah. Fresh fruits, veggies and all. They own all that stuff. Nuts and all. They own that also. Plenty of companies, yeah. Plenty of companies. Roh Tae-woo, who died recently, was a former president of South Korea. This is South Korea, south of North Korea. And North Korea is north of South Korea, east of China, southeast of China. And on its northeast here, northernmost in the corner, you have the Russian border. Okay. So, South Korea president we just mentioned a while ago. So, I'll mention the capital as well. Seoul. How do you pronounce it? Seoul. The E is silent. Okay. And the president, to repeat, is Moon Jae-in. It's a very tiny place, about 1 lakh square kilometers, which would be about 30%, less than 30% of Rajasthan's area, which is India's biggest area, the biggest state. Okay. Rajasthan's area is 3.42 lakh square kilometers. This is 1 lakh square kilometers. Population is 5 crores. Moon Jae-in is the president and the currency is won. Now, North Korea's capital is Pyongyang. Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea. And its leader, there is no president, there is a leader because this guy's father, Kim Jong-un's father is the president for life, but he died in 2011. Okay, yeah. So, China we know, Kim Jong-un, and the currency of North Korea is won, same as South Korea, but it's called North Korean won. Now, I'll tell you about Thailand. Thailand is this Asian country here. You see this country here, down here. Thailand is a Buddhist country. These are all Buddhist. This entire area is Buddhist. Okay. Except Malaysia, Indonesia and Brunei. These are all Buddhist. Majorly Buddhism practiced here. Okay. Thailand is a monarchy, constitutional monarchy. The ex-military chief is in power after dismissing the government, but the king is still in power. Okay, he is all powerful. The king's name is, the capital. I don't think I need to tell you the capital's name, but anyway, it's Bangkok here. Bangkok's here, and Thailand's king is a guy called Maha Vajira Longkorn. One word. He's a much tattooed person. I mean, he's entire, you will find colored tattoos all over his body. He's about 68 years, 70 years old. He became king about 3 years back, and before that, his father was in charge, and his father had been the king of Thailand since 1952, 1946, 1946. That guy's name was Bhumibol Adulyadej. Bhumibol Adulyadej. The guy is dead, of course. You don't have to worry. This guy is the president, and you know what? This guy's official name. Okay, let's write the official name of this guy. Rama the 10th. Rama the 10th. Because these guys, the kings here, the monarchy, I mean the ruling house here, believes they are the descendants of the Raghuvamsa dynasty of Ayodhya. Yeah. In fact, this is the official name, Rama the 10th. His father was Rama the 9th. And one more thing you need to understand here is that they belong to the Chakri dynasty. Their ruling house is called Chakri dynasty. Okay, Chakri dynasty. And anything else here that we could discuss? Yeah, before Bangkok became the capital of the kingdom, there was a capital called Ayutthaya, which is about 250 kilometers north of Bangkok. Ayutthaya, corruption of the word Ayodhya. Okay, yes. Oh, I love reading these kinds of things. It's it makes us comfortable with the world. So spend 5 minutes, you'll end up learning something nice. Okay. You would want to know the president's name, the prime minister's name, Pradyut. In some places you may not find this D. Prayut also is right. Pradyut Chan-o-cha. Pradyut Chan-o-cha is the prime minister of Thailand. The currency is baht. Okay. Which grouping recently entered into the agreement with regarding cross-border data use and digital trade? G7, group of 7. These are group of 7 most industrial nations. Okay, and I'll take a geographical order. Japan. I'll start in the west. In the east. Japan. We have Germany, Italy, France, UK, Canada, and US. See, when I write US, I put dots. When I write UK, I don't put dots. Okay. So these are the 7 countries, most industrialized nations in the world. This held true for a long time, but now China is there, of course. G4, you could write this. Group of 4 nations. Group of 4. What are the 4 nations? India, Japan, Germany, no order, and South Africa. And Brazil. India, Japan, Germany, and Brazil. 4 nations. Dash. Only agenda is to support each other's bids, bids for permanent seat, SEAT, for permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, on the UN Security Council. That's it. BRICS, 5 nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. You know this. SCO is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We learned about this in the last class, so let's not repeat. So we could rather spend the same time learning about ASEAN. ASEAN is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. 10 members. And what are the members' names? Myanmar, let's say Thailand, Cambodia or Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam. 5. Singapore. I am taking geographical order, okay? Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Philippines. ठीक है? Philippines. All 10 have come. Just to show you, see, this is Malaysia, okay? I put Singapore ahead of Malaysia because Malaysia is spread across these two places. This is Malaysia again, okay? These are all Indonesia. This is Brunei, the tiny place here. You see here, yeah? This tiny kingdom, that is Brunei. It's a tiny kingdom. It's run by this despot named Muda Hassan al-Wadullah Bolkiah. That's the Raja's name. Name the storm that recently swept across parts of northern Europe, leaving 4 dead in Poland and causing substantial damage in Germany, France, the Netherlands, and elsewhere, of course, in that region. Aurora. Now, I just mentioned. I'm not going to discuss this question. There are some questions where there are 2-3 questions in every session where I touch and go. I just touch and go. So we name cyclones primarily to give them a moniker to identify them. Typically the names are not culturally insensitive, okay, and they help us know which cyclone caused the greatest damage. And when we reference some name in the past, it's easier to locate, identify a particular cyclone or any kind of storm with a name, okay. Who has become the first Frenchman to win the 2021 MotoGP World Championship? Fabio Quartararo. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Fabio. He lives in Andorra. He's a French chap, and he drives a Yamaha. He's just 22 years old. Yeah. Just 22. He's also called the humble champion. He's nicknamed the humble, Humble. He's never arrogant. He always downplays, everything, and he's a kind of guy who's always ready to give credit where it's due. Very rare, that is. Qualities that are very rare. So, I'm not going to discuss this, but I always had this fascination for two-wheeler riding. See, this is a world champion. This guy, just 22 years old. Okay. The Vigilance Awareness Week will be observed from 26 October to 1st November 2025 Friday week. The theme of Independent India at 75. Self-reliance with integrity, honesty. That's what it means. I just would want you to write this. Central Vigilance Commission. Okay. Central Vigilance Commission. Set up on recommendation of Santanam Committee. Santanam Committee on prevention of corruption. Santanam Committee on prevention of corruption. In 1964. Next. Main aim is to probe governmental corruption. Next. Current Chief Vigilance Commissioner, current CVC, Chief Vigilance Commissioner, Suresh Patel. Okay, chalo. India recently handed over the 35-kilometer long cross-border Jayanagar-Kurta rail link to Nepal. You could write this: Jayanagar-Kurta rail link, part of 78 kilometer. No, 68 kilometers. Huh? 68 kilometers. I'm so sorry. 68.7 something. 68 kilometer. 68 kilometer. Jayanagar in Bihar to Bardidas in Nepal rail link. Bardidas in Nepal rail link. So Jayanagar Kurta rail link is part of the 69 kilometer Jayanagar to Bardidas rail link. So Jayanagar is in our country, Bardidas is in the neighboring country. We promised them that we will build this rail link so that there is better movement of goods and services, better movement of goods and people between the two nations. Okay, which promotes commerce along the border. Just to give you an idea about who is Nepal, Prime Minister of Nepal is Sher Bahadur Doiba. I think in the previous session we discussed Myanmar and Sri Lanka, so we'll just skip it this time. Prime Minister, and of course let's write the capital also now. There's no harm in writing capital, Kathmandu. The currency is Nepali rupee. Okay, Bhutan, my friends, is constitutional. It's a tiny kingdom with a constitutional monarchy. Thimphu is the capital. The Prime Minister's name is Lote Shering. The king's name is Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk. This is enough. Okay. Prime Minister Lote Shering. The currency is Gultrum. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, should we be discussing Pakistan? Why not? Pakistan's president, the Prime Minister is Imran Khan, the president. The capital is Islamabad. The president is Arif Alvi, and the currency is rupee, Pakistani rupee. Just in the previous session, we had a look at Myanmar and Sri Lanka in detail, isn't it? According to the Hidalgo Huron, India philanthropy, phil means love, anthrop means mankind. Okay, love of the mankind, that's philanthropy. List 2021, who is India's most generous philanthropist billionaire? Ajim Premji. How much did he give? This year he is said to have given away 9,713 crore rupees. That is in the last 12-month financial year 2021. The ones that started on April 1st, 2022 to 31st March, that ended on 31st March 2021. In that period, he gave away about 9,713 crore rupees. Okay, so the number 2 is Shiv Nadar, co-founder of HCL. Number 2, Shiv Nadar. He is a distant second, but it requires an enormously big heart to part with one's hard-earned wealth. He don't write the number. He gave away about 1263 crores. You can double check the numbers are right, but I don't want you to write the numbers. He is also called the father of India's computer revolution, father of India's computer industry, hardware. He is a guy who started Hindustan Computers Limited, HCL. Mukesh Ambani came in number 3 and he gave away 577 crore. crore. Okay. Mukesh Ambani, number 3. Among celebrities, who's given away the most? Well, Akshay Kumar, 26 crores. Last year he gave away 26 crores, Akshay Kumar. And among women philanthropists, the ranks taken by Rohini Nilekani. Rohini Nilekani, wife of Nandan Nilekani, the co-founder and chairman of Infosys. Well, of course, that's not our identity, but you would know Nandan Nilekani more better than knowing, than let's say Rohini Nilekani. So she gave away about, if I'm not wrong, about 69 crore rupees. 69 crore, yeah, 69 crore, yes. Isn't it? Yeah, 69 crores. What about the professional managers? See, among professional managers, the highest has been given away by AM Naik, Anil Manibhai Naik. Heard of him? Anil Manibhai Naik. He was the ex-CEO of L&T. He's still the chairman emeritus, but ex-CEO of L&T. He made L&T India's biggest engineering company. He gave away 112 crores last year. He's the most generous professional manager in India. A lot to learn. Having a big heart is much more important, of course, than everything else. Hinduja family. Would you know who are these guys? You have heard of Ashok Leyland, Gulf Oil, IndusInd Bank. They are all owned by these guys. There are 4 brothers. The Sindhi brothers, and these guys, Srichand, Gopichand, Prakash, and Ashok. And all of them were born, I think, they were born abroad. They were born in Iran, I think. And after the 79 revolution, they moved to Switzerland. Now they spend their time between Switzerland and Britain. Okay. Which bank won the prestigious Top Organizations with Innovative HR Practices Award at the 19th edition of the Asia Pacific HRM Congress held in Bengaluru in the last week of October? Well, Karnataka Bank. The CEO of Karnataka Bank is Mahabaleshwar MS. Bandhan Bank, Chandrasekhar Ghosh. City Union Bank, N. Kamakodi, Dr. N. Kamakodi. Development Credit Bank, DCB, Murli Natarajan. CSB, Catholic Syrian Bank. See, DCB is Development Credit Bank. Murli Natarajan, CEO is Murli Natarajan. Catholic Syrian Bank, CEO is, what is his name? CVR Rajendran. Oh, sometimes there is a psychological block, yeah. You just don't get that out of the brain. Rajendran. CVR Rajendran. Okay, guys? Chala. Which country returned about 250 antiquities belonging to India in the long-run investigation of a stolen art scheme? US. Just one country I'll discuss. Mexico. Capital is Mexico City. So the president is a guy called Manuel Obrador Perez. Okay, the currency is peso, Mexican peso. Italy, chalo. Rome is the capital. And Italian Prime Minister is a guy called Mario Draghi. He's a ex-president of the European Central Bank. Okay, Mario Draghi. Currency is euro. Currency is euro. Baldev Prakash has recently been appointed MD and CEO of J&K Bank, Jammu and Kashmir Bank. Union Bank of India CEO is Raj Kiran Rai. Raj Kiran Rai. ICICI Bank, Sandeep Bakshi. IDBI Bank, Rakesh Sharma. Axis Bank, Amitabh Chaudhary. Amitabh Chaudhary. Oh boy, that's about it. Thanks for being here. Have a lot of fun. Have a happy Diwali, a safe Diwali, and make sure you stay curious this Diwali and forever. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.